It's September 2023. Draped across a leather sofa between a globe and a statue of a horse, a young woman is conducting a photo shoot for her Instagram. Angela Vukadinovich is wearing a green floor-length gown, every inch covered in diamante sparkles. On her head is an ornate crown. She's celebrating being named Miss Montenegro.
Current Miss World Montenegro 2023. I'm born on 28 September 2000.
Vukadinovich moves around the room, stopping to pose in front of a picture of the author Henry James. She's in Salon Privé in Tivat, which, according to its website, is Montenegro's first private members club. Their tagline proudly reads, "Some places you visit, others you belong to."
Warm greetings from Miss World Montenegro.
Her boyfriend, George Cottrell, by this point no longer with George Toffolo of Made in Chelsea fame, is a member. Salon Privé is also a casino. Quite a famous one in town. There are glamorous adverts for it as you queue to get through the border at the airport, and they sponsor the local football team. And it's here, in June 2023, that police came and seized a crypto ATM. And Posh George would soon be facing serious allegations in the local press. I'm Gabriel Pogrund. I run the Insight Investigations team at the Sunday Times. And together with my colleagues Venetia Menzies and Emanuele Midolo, we've spent the last few months trying to understand how a convicted fraudster with no official role in Reform UK has worked his way into the heart of British politics, standing by the man who could win the next election. From the Times and Sunday Times, this is Posh George, the criminal behind Farage. Episode 4, Crypto Politics. When George set up his new home in the Balkans in 2019 and started using the name George Co., one of the first people to come and visit him was Nigel Farage. The 62-year-old enjoying his young friend's hospitality, going to polo matches with him in the sun-kissed port. There have always been lots of questions about Posh George and his past, many of which remain unanswered. Trust, judgment and transparency are central to politics. And during his time in Montenegro, George, a convicted fraudster, attracted unwanted scrutiny. Scrutiny that Nigel Farage would ultimately have to address. Now, Montenegro is famous for its low tax and has become a place where crypto enthusiasts have flocked, creating a bit of a Bitcoin boom. Local journalists such as Ivan Ivanovic have followed that money.
More than $2 billion passed through crypto wallets associated with the Montenegrin IP address between November 2021 and November 2022.
Ivan says for that period, it's almost the whole budget for the entire country. He told us crypto is used to buy things like houses and cars, transactions completely outside the country's tax or legal system. George Cottrell is a big crypto guy, and when he based himself in Montenegro, he became involved in the bookmaker Tether.bet, which takes bets in digital currencies. Let's take a step back for a moment and look at the politics of crypto. Most mainstream politicians in the West have been cautious about digital currency, worried that they operate outside traditional financial markets. But George's ally Farage doesn't see it that way.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do we welcome someone who just came across the pond, the most influential Bitcoin and crypto politician, flew over here. Please, everybody out of your seats, give this man a round of applause to get this started for us. Nigel, thank you for joining us here at Bitcoin 2025.
Wow, thank you so much.
In recent years, Farage has become a vocal champion of crypto.
I'm thrilled to be here today, but to announce that rather than just words, we have put together, and this is exclusive for today, the Crypto Assets and Digital Finance Bill.
This is one of the most detailed policies the Reform UK leader has outlined in his bid to become the UK's next PM.
We will campaign for this, and we'll put it in place when we win the next general election.
It echoes what's been happening in the United States.
That we would bring back American liberty and leadership and make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and that's what we've done. And under the Trump administration, this is only going further.
In Montenegro, it became a hot topic. In 2023, it was an election year. The then Finance Minister Miloko Spajic, who was part of the coalition government, was running to be Prime Minister.
The idea of Spajic in the beginning months was to make the crypto paradise here in Montenegro.
This is Dritan Abazovic, one of Spajic's political rivals, although Abazovic maintains they've always been friendly with each other.
I am former Prime Minister of Montenegro. Also before that I was the Deputy Prime Minister responsible for the security.
He spoke to my colleague Venetia Menzies at his office in the country's capital, Podgorica.
This is not good that Montenegro be recognized like a country who is the paradise for some unclean money, unclean capital, money laundering.
Have you seen much in terms of the British political sphere?
From the British political sphere, we just have the problem with this guy whose name is Cottrell, who is also recognized like a person who is this crypto-friendly and working with this kind of crypto society.
When do you think the first time was that you heard the name George Cottrell?
That was in 2023. I didn't know who is that guy. This was not something which was interesting for us until we start make the, let's say, more clear monitoring to the crypto community in the country.
In 2023, Dritan Abazovic was the incumbent Prime Minister. Spajic, the finance minister who wanted to make Montenegro a crypto paradise, was part of a party called Europe Now. Like Ronseal, the name does what it says on the tin. It wants Montenegro to join the European Union. And Spajic knew Posh George. The pair were seen drinking and dining together at waterfront bars in Tivat between 2022 and 24.
Hello and welcome to Across the Balkans. Great to have you
Now, in
with
March of
us on the
2023,
show.
authorities arrested a member of the Montenegro crypto community.
One of the world's most wanted fugitives, South Korean national Do Kwon, following his arrest in Montenegro. The famous cryptocurrency boss was trying to escape to the United
It was a South Korean entrepreneur known as Do Kwon who was behind two digital currencies that had collapsed. Investors lost an estimated $40 billion in what US judges would call an epic fraud. A few months after his arrest, just days before the general election, while Do Kwon was awaiting extradition, he penned a handwritten letter to Prime Minister Abazovic from his prison cell.
Explaining that he knows Spajic for many years, he even put the place when they met, and he say in that letter that he knows everybody from the crypto community who financially support the Spajic.
Do Kwon claimed friends in the crypto industry had helped fund Spajic's campaign in return for pledges of crypto-friendly policies. Spajic called the accusations super fake and part of a dirty political game. But Do Kwon claimed the evidence was on a laptop. It created plenty of headlines.
povezanosti I zloupotrebama na relaciji Milojko Spajić I Do Kwon.
kaže da su Do Kwon I njegov partner uhapšeni 23.
He said that the evidence are in the laptop which police take it from him, but that laptop never was opened in Montenegro.
This laptop, what happened to it?
I don't know, but when he leaves to America, everything with that kind of evidence go with him.
Do Kwon was extradited and sentenced to 15 years in prison. And the laptop? It's now with the US authorities. It's a Friday night. We're on the seafront in Tivat. The music is pumping. People are sipping cocktails on the palm tree terraces, kicking back. It's the beginning of the weekend after all. And in one corner is the entrance to Salon Privé. The private members club sign glows in neon white. My colleague Venetia is making her way in.
Okay, so we go to this little room.
There's a row of betting terminals, a bar, and a private VIP room where Miss Montenegro had been posing on Instagram. It's kind of underwhelming.
For all I've heard about Salon Privé, I was surprised to find that it's actually a rather dingy, dark, small room. There weren't any croupiers, there weren't any roulette tables, there were perhaps a dozen betting terminals and even fewer customers. And the reason that I was there, the reason I went to this place, Salon Privé, is that this is the location where in 2023 that there was an illegal cryptocurrency ATM.
It was here that officers came and took the crypto ATM. Now, a crypto ATM works like this. You put physical cash into it, which it then converts into cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin and Ethereum and adds to your crypto wallet. In the UK, the Financial Conduct Authority says using one only supports crime. For all the talk from the crypto community that it opens up finance and makes it more democratic, it's very hard to monitor and check digital wallets which sit outside the traditional banking systems, not least when they've been loaded up with money via a debit card or cash in an under-regulated corner of the Balkans. Most countries do not allow the use of crypto to fund political parties or politicians. But in June of 2023, local media reported that politicians had accused Posh George of two things: owning the crypto ATM and funding Spyach's campaign. Another report was that 2 Reform UK staff flew over to help revamp Spyach's campaign. The social media consultants admitted they work with Europe now, but said it was unpaid volunteering. George Cottrell denies any involvement in Montenegrin politics and owning or being involved with the crypto machine. Cottrell's lawyers told us the allegations were part of a politically motivated disinformation campaign instigated by an outgoing administration to smear the leading party Europe Now. They say a petition from the then Minister of Internal Affairs to the local prosecutor to issue warrants was refused. They say George Cottrell has never made any political donation to Mr. Spyach or his party. Suddenly there were headlines and stories in the press about this well-dressed British aristocrat who was friends with Nigel Farage being accused of wading into Montenegrin politics. So, what did George do?
When Cottrell was being investigated about this crypto
Yes, he left the country in that moment. He left Montenegro.
George Cottrell says he regularly travels to and from Montenegro and denies any suggestion he left the country to avoid scrutiny. Spyach won the election.
The Europe Now movement, led by Miloš Spyach, has come out on top.
But it would take months of negotiations before he could form a government. And then the headlines around his funding kind of, well, faded away. In recent years, Spyach, at least publicly, no longer talks about Montenegro as a crypto paradise, instead focusing on joining the EU.
Everybody thought that's absolutely impossible, that's not going to happen, but I think people are becoming less skeptical.
One question I have is, why would Posh George, the man who was treasurer of UKIP in 2014, who campaigned for Brexit back in 2016, who raised money for the Brexit Party and still supports Reform UK, and who is, lest we forget, Nigel Farage's closest ally, why would he be associated with Spyach, who heads the pro-EU party? Why was he wining and dining with him?
these people who are from that community, most of them, I'm not saying now for Cottrell because I don't know him personally, but most of these people who are from that part of population who are, you know, in this crypto things, big businesses, real estate markets, Dubai, Emirates, working this investment, they look into politics just like a toy which is used for the business.
Via his lawyers, Posh George told us he meets a range of politicians from a range of parties. Spajic has always denied any funding from the cryptocurrency community in his election bid. Now, the story of the crypto ATM, well, it's about to get even more interesting.
I'm in the back streets of Tivat, and I'm standing outside number 22A on a street called Pali Baraka. Now, this is the address of Cottrell's once lawyer, Mr. Ratko Pantovic. It's a 6-story residential building looking very rundown. And if you Google this address, rather than a website for the lawyer, Mr. Pantovic, what you find is an entry on a website, Coin ATM Radar, which locates where there are cryptocurrency ATMs. And on a picture on that website, you can see a sign advertising both Mr. Pantovic's law firm and Global Financial Solutions, another of the companies linked to Cottrell. But standing here, I can see the signs have been removed. This location was at the center of a media storm after the cryptocurrency ATM was seized.
We've spoken to contacts who claim that prior to this police inspection at the casino Salon Privé, they'd seen the same ATM inside this lawyer's office. Today, there's no one there. The signs are gone. Mr. Ratko Pantovic, the lawyer whose offices these were, has since died. But he didn't just represent Posh George. He was also the lawyer for Hong Kong Yong, the man whose company owns George's Montenegrin penthouse. The man, George Cottrell, has always claimed to own that ATM. And this address is interesting because it's also the registered address of a business owned by Reform UK's biggest donor. The man who gave £5 million to Nigel Farage, Christopher Harborne.
I understand that Nigel Farage is now facing an investigation by the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards, Daniel Greenberg, after news about the gift, as Reform UK have termed it, from Christopher Harborne, a Thai-based billionaire crypto investor, to Nigel Farage just before the 2024 general election.
And the connection between Harborne, the mega crypto donor, and Posh George is one worth trying to untangle. A source has told me that George has privately boasted of being close to Harborne. In the summer of 2020, George was in Mayfair lunching. Impeccably dressed as ever, he donned a blue suit with a light blue tie. A pack of cigarettes by his side, George enjoyed a glass of red over lunch, while Harborne and Farage chuckled away. A few days later, Tether.bet was set up, the gambling platform George is involved in. As the name suggests, the bookmaker accepts bets in various cryptocurrencies, foremost among them one called Tether. And one of the owners of that digital currency, according to US court documents, is Christopher Harborne. It's 2024. Spajic is in power, the accusations of funding have drifted away, and George is happily back in Montenegro.
What's the paper that this is published in?
Dan, daily paper Dan.
Investigative journalist Ivan Ivanovic is showing Venetia a copy of a local tabloid newspaper from May of that year. In one corner is a cold case crime story.
And it still remains unsolved.
Okay.
He was investigating smuggling.
But the main story features a big photo of Posh George. He's standing smoking a cigarette, shades on, white open collared shirt and a suit.
There is a headline, controversial multimillionaire lost a large amount of money in casino in Budva. Cottrell lost 20 millions in poker game.
George was front-page news for gambling away $20 million in one go at a casino in the Montenegrin city of Budva, which featured in the James Bond film Casino Royale. It's reported George was at the poker tables in this high-stakes game till 7 a.m. in the morning. He later bragged to the high society magazine Tatler that he'd actually lost $53 million. Christ! I've spoken to sources that say this is at least partially an act. And the British journalist Gus Carter, who interviewed him in Tatler, mused,
"At the time, it seemed strange that he was so happy to talk about such losses. Now I understand that Cottrell wanted to signal that he was a high roller, and a high roller that loses. Bookmakers are more than happy to take bets from someone like that."
Apparently, Angela Vukadinovich, Miss Montenegro, who was now George's ex, was not too pleased. When we at the Insight team approached Miss Montenegro for this podcast series, she simply told us, "I am not allowed to speak about him. We spoke." The "we spoke," we guess, means the pair were in contact about our approach. Today, George is still flying in and out of Tivat. This podcast series is trying to understand how a convicted fraudster has worked his way into the heart of British politics. But I guess another question is, how's he stayed there? And what does that tell us about Nigel Farage? In 2023 and 24, George attracted a lot of negative press in Montenegro. Some of it seeped back here.
But Mr. Farage, when you say our culture, I think many of our viewers...
In June of 2024, less than a month out from the UK general election, Nigel Farage is standing in front of Clacton Pier in Essex, doing a live TV hit with the BBC.
40% of our contribution in 2 wars.
With a Ferris wheel in the background and the sun streaming in that Sunday morning, in the final question from the studio, Farage is asked about a report I'd written.
The Sunday Times today is carrying a story about one of your aides and colleagues, George Cottrell, who has a conviction for wire fraud in the America and has been named in another criminal investigation in Montenegro. Do you want him by your side on the campaign trail?
I, firstly, always stand by my friends. And secondly, there is a thing called Christian forgiveness. If people get convicted of something or do something wrong, well, they have another chance in life to go on and prove themselves.
Mr. Farage, thank you very much.
Just like in early 2017, when Posh George was facing jail time, Farage chose to stick by his guy. In 2024, when Farage was on the campaign trail in his bid to become an MP, a woman stepped out of a crowd of adoring supporters and threw a milkshake in his face. Posh George was, as you'd expect, right by his side, shepherding Farage away into the Reform UK campaign bus. Farage would win his seat.
Farage Nigel Paul, Reform UK, 21,225.
And finally become an MP.
Nigel Farage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
A lifelong ambition, but also a key detail in this story. George has helped support Farage financially over the years, but now as an MP, the scrutiny is more focused. In recent years, we, the Sunday Times Insight team, can reveal Nigel Farage has repeatedly stayed at a property Posh George rents near Buckingham Palace. And Posh George has funded everything from Farage's staff to his security to his drivers. Parliamentary rules state that MPs must declare benefits received in the 12 months before their election. Almost all of Posh George's support wasn't. While making this podcast series, we approached both George Cottrell and Nigel Farage. George Cottrell says his support of Mr. Farage is the result of friendship and shared political ideology, not any hope or expectation of receiving anything in return. Nigel Farage described Mr. Cottrell as a long-standing friend. Both deny any wrongdoing. listening to Posh George, the criminal behind Farage, with me, Gabriel Pogrund, alongside Venetia Menzies and Emanuele Midolo. The series is produced and exec by Will Rowe and Kate Lamble. The assistant producer is Colette Fountain. Sound design by Tiffany Dimmack. Theme title and original music by Adam Foreign. And the head of podcast at The Times is Dan Box.